Yes, hi, hello. It's exciting news today. I started a new Kerbal Space sandbox career mode, and boy, did I start getting to work, man. I didn't land anything. I just started launching things into orbit, but I made a mistake in previous games that I um haven't saved. Just learning how to play, I was launching the Kerbals just out into space, and I finally learned how to do a few things in the game. Like, so that's what today is going to be. Starting with this rocket here, I think this, I think I decided to record as I was going to try to go to Duna and put a space station around Duna. Like, that's what that huge thing at the top is. That's a big full space station that's just needs to get detached in orbit. So without further ado, here we go. I think. Beautiful release of the stage there. I've also got a bunch of other Xbox screen captures that are on the Xbox that we might see if I accidentally hit the wrong button, or if it skips around videos or something. I've never tried to make a video this way. We're just screen capturing from my Xbox. From my Xbox hard drive is what we're looking at right now. That one, that looked like it was a failure. We just went straight into the ocean. Oh, this looks like one where we just after we got to orbit, we ditched the stage. Almost out of fuel. We're about to do the fairing. So you guys can... There it goes. What reveals a full laboratory, crew quarters, lights. It's a full-on space station. I never tried these engines before today. I forget what they're called. They're the smallest, not the smallest ones, but definitely on the smaller side of engines. Previous is actually the next video. Okay, so I think that last one we saw might have been a separate launch, another test launch, and this is the one, the final revision, I think, with the Rhino, big old Rhino engine in the middle for our interplanetary travels. But that was really cool. And another beautiful fairing release, showing off that full-on space station payload, all automated. There's no Kerbals. I finally learned how to do the remote control, so you don't have to put Kerbals' lives at risk. I think I'm going to be showing you two different two separate space stations. I don't remember how many captures. I remember I got a lot of captures, so just make sure you settle in for a long Kerbal Space Program video. You can see in the screen in the tiny two black dots, that's Duna and its moon. I don't remember what its moon's name is. But Duna represents Mars in this game, and planet Kerbal is like Earth. So what we're doing now is moving really fast towards Mars or Duna, and we're gonna have to fire the engines to slow us down and let the space station get captured by the gravity, and then we'll release it, and it'll be sitting there waiting for some Kerbals that want to land on the planet. Oh, I just been looking at that. My bad. Time warping ahead now. I think we made it to Mars or Duna in just under a year, I think. So now we're back to real time. Real time, it looks like we're not even moving. Oh, that's also because we weren't moving. The video stopped. I forgot to go to the next one again. So here we are arriving at what do they call it in the game? An encounter. This is our encounter with Duna. And right now we're doing an engine burn. Yeah, this engine burn is going to slow us down and let us circularize our orbit around Duna. There might still be some fuel left in this stage, but I don't remember. I might have gotten literally like just enough fuel to do the mission to get the space station delivered to a perfect orbit. Oops, we don't want that. We want this. That's a cool view right there. Yeah, the only thing about these smaller engines is the burn times were very long. Right there we're looking at the target orbit in yellow or green, and the blue circle that's getting smaller, that's where we'll be, where we're at right now. As we burn, we bring in our orbit because we slow down. And now we're captured. Now we're in a perfect orbit. Just a little bit of fuel left. It looks like about 20% of fuel is left. But I'm pretty sure I detach that fuel stage. and just that's how we drop it off. That's how we drop off the laboratory and the other capsules and the science equipment. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to put on the observatory space station that I made. I made an observatory space station, and I put the thrusters on, but I forgot to put the fuel for the thrusters on. But yeah, I'm slowly getting the hang of this game, and it just every time I play it, I get more and more addicted to it. That's for sure. It's a very addicting game. There you see the stage drifting off. The fuel stage. I think here I was just pointing the solar panels towards the sun. And then I turn on SAS, and that keeps us towards the sun, I think. Either towards the sun or towards the planet Duna. I don't remember. There you see the stage drifting away again. Yeah, there you see me turning SAS on and RCS off. I think we're just looking at our orbit now. Just checking it out. Mission accomplished, you know. It takes a lot of work to get these types of things done in this game. I still haven't been able to build a successful space plane. There's a runway and a space plane hangar to launch from the runway. I've built a whole bunch, but none of them have succeeded in getting to orbit. But from the launch pad, getting a little bit better. I finally learned how to do the fairings, which that's why the front of this rocket was so huge. So I was like, how big can I make the fairing? And it was gigantic. All right, here's looks like the backside of Duna. Just getting some really cool video of the first time successfully going to Duna and getting into orbit. And it's a full-on space station, and it's like a spot. I now have like a rendezvous point for future landing missions. And I tried to put dock things to dock with on these space stations. I still have not. Something I did try the other day when I was doing all this was I tried to link up with the first space station that I made, that I put in just around Earth or Kerbal orbit, and I could not do it. I kept getting real close, and it was just frustrating. I was running out of. I made a ship with so much extra fuel, and I used all of it, and I just couldn't figure out how to do the RCS. I couldn't figure out how to. I'd be able to get within like 1,000 meters and up to like 200 and even 100. One time I almost slammed into it real hard, but I just getting the orbits right. It's tough. Oh, here's all my crafts. The SS space station transfer was supposed to be that's the one I was trying to link up with the space station because I still have some Kerbals in orbit in this one. It's only just over the past couple days I figured out how to do the remote craft. Oh, here we are, the full rocket. Duna Station Zeta. Look at all them rockets. This was actually the most controllable and just smooth launch configurations with this rocket configuration. I had probably 3 or 4 other rockets. The big ass, huge fairing covering the whole space station with a big, huge bulb on the end. Oh, that's funny. Duna Station Zeta. Yeah, that's what made it. That's what made it there. Look how ridiculous it looks. The first time I launched, I had the other solid rocket boosters on there, and they just wobbled right into the fuel tanks. They just kept exploding. They wouldn't even get off the launch pad. So I switched it up. I put a little bit smaller rocket boosters on, mixed with the liquid fuel boosters. Yeah, that's a lot of engines. That's a lot of rocket power. Oh, here we go. Oh, I didn't get video the launch the first time. And so I went back and I was like, well, I gotta get some video of the launch and show you what it looks like on the launch pad. Look at this. Oh, that's what it looks like on the launch pad. Oh, that's funny. But it's funny. I was like, you know what? If it's a successful launch into orbit, I might as well head to the moon right there, the mun. So we might get to see a full, like highlight reel of this little trip to the mun. But yeah, not not until I finish showcasing this beast of a rocket. Duna Station Zeta. So now I have a Duna station orbiting the Mun and one orbiting Duna or Mars. It looks like we're just getting some more wonderful shots of the rocket here. I tried uploading a video with some classical music to see if I'm allowed to monetize with classical music. And so far it's looking good. So I might have to do a version of this video with no audio and just put some classical music to these shots. It's pretty funny. Look at that thing. I think I launch pretty soon. Hopefully. Oh, I'm just staring at it again like an idiot. Going in for another shot. Here we go. Going into the launch. Yeah, I had to bring up the HUD. Oh, and then I noticed the stages were messed up. I might have even... I remember now. This whole mission to the Mun was just all glitchy. Things kept glitching out. Still ended up doing it successfully, but not without hiccups. Sorry if that was loud. Might turn that volume down. Oh, there go the stages. I missed the first stages at the solid boosters. But yeah, we just saw the liquid fuel rocket boosters go. There, I turned the volume down for the video. Hopefully it's... Whoa! Yeah, good thing I was paying attention to the rocket there. It started wobbling so much. I had to shut off the engine, and yeah, this was the first... That was the first hiccup. And I ended up just ditching the stage and switching right to the Rhino. Turn SAS back on and hit prograde, so we would start getting into orbit. Yeah, instant replay. Ditching the stage. Yeah, a little glitchy on the engine there, but just punched the throttle and hopefully corrected our mistakes. There, we're peeking at the map. Yeah, we're not even into orbit yet, and we've just had a few issues. Already. I think I missed recording the solid rocket boosters detachment, because you can see right there it didn't go smoothly. It blew up 2 of our engines for this stage, but it didn't kill us. It didn't stop us. We kept going. I got full throttle. Even with we're down 2 engines, it's still gonna be plenty to get us there. But yeah, a few hiccups, not unscathed. It seems to me like that's what SpaceX and Elon's philosophy is with all these engines in this new rocket, the Starship booster. What is it, like 32, 33 rocket engines? So if 1 or 2 go out, it'd probably be fine. Here we are burning. Boosting ourselves towards the moon is what it looks like. The Mun. Oh no, we are not boosting towards the Mun. We are still trying to get into orbit. Still trying to get into lunar, or I mean, stable orbit around the Earth. Well, around planet Kerbal. It's not Earth. It's Kerbal. Oh yeah, see it. The meter or liquid fuel meter, it looks right, but the number that corresponds with the delta V that is remaining, that was glitched out, and you see it's glitched out on the next stage, the next engine stage too. It says 0. And our burn times, or when I was trying to get into orbit, I think our burn times were not showing up. So we had to do a lot of the map view to get to the mun. Yeah, I got really lucky. I didn't look where the mun was when we launched. And yeah, it just happens to be looking like our second burn on our way to orbit. Like we're not even in orbit yet, I don't think. And we'll be able to just burn and get out to the mun. Even after all them hiccups. Because we still have another stage. But I'm pretty sure we don't even need it until we slow down. Oh yeah, next one. Yeah, here I am I'm trying to line it up. Because what that does is shows up as a target on the targeting globe thing, the compass. And yeah, there's no way you'd be able to just eyeball pointing the right way. So that's definitely a necessary instrument. This like 360 compass thing, it's pretty cool. I'm time warping now, right up to the right time, because that's where it marks the spot where you need to turn the engines on. And how long you need to, well, it usually says how long you need to burn on the bottom, but it's in red, and it's not saying anything. Luckily it's giving me the delta V number, but that don't really matter because it's not showing me how much delta V I have left. That's glitched out too right now. Yeah, this is a really cool game other than a few little bugs. And but it does crash. Even on the Xbox, it does crash quite a bit. It's usually how I end up stopping playing a session because the game crashes on me for the who knows how many of the time. We're probably over. We're getting close to 10, 12, maybe 15 crashes already. There was another little hiccup. The stage wouldn't shut off, so I overburned, which means I burned too much. And now we're overshooting the moon. So we're gonna have to do what's called a mid-course correction. I think that's what happens. Oh, I gotta. Sorry about that. That's gonna be doing that for a little bit. Hopefully it stops. I might pause the recording actually. Yeah, I'm gonna pause it till we get back. Oh, look, it's done. Nice. Cool. So yeah, there's the huge fairing protecting our space station. Duna Station Zeta. It's going to the Mun this time. Oh man, there's another one. Thought we were done. Yeah, here's me showing you how to do the maneuver. Pretty much just pulling the burning the engines retrograde for, it doesn't tell me how long, but you can look at it, which is really nice. This top down or whichever angle you pick, um, to pull these nodes around. But yeah, we're just looking at trying to find a good spot, a good amount of, to burn the engines, and a good direction to burn them in. But it looks like 2.5 hours until we do that burn. Skip to the next one. Looks like we might have just did the burn. Or no, I think we're just warping to there. Just showing you what it looks like when, right when you finally leave the Earth, the Earth's gravity. I mean, I did it way earlier, but you definitely notice when you're drifting away, the Earth's getting smaller and smaller. All right, next one. Because it's so big, I used a smaller reaction wheel. That's why it moves so slow. I used a reaction wheel that wasn't big enough. Slowly, there's barely any throttle. We're bringing in that orbital path to right where we want it. So on our way back towards Earth, we get captured by the moon's gravity. That's what that's showing right there. Let's skip ahead one more. Oh yeah, this one, I thought it was really cool because I think we just finished our, yeah, that was our burn that we did. That was our mid-course correction that put us dialed right in to to get captured by the Mun. And it was really cool looking at this picture because it shows you the Earth and the Moon and your ship literally right in the middle of it. It's pretty cool. There's a couple times I didn't remember if I hit the capture button or not. So I might have a couple videos that are doubles. I also just learned what if you saw that, what I just did was set the moon to the target for the camera. So that shows me the moon, and it's way easier to zoom in on it. Like I've been trying to just zoom in on it while being, just controlling the spaceship. Let's go back one. Let's see if yeah, we still haven't deployed the fairing yet. I could have missed it though. There's the mun, there's the ship. Oh, there we go. There it goes. Nice. Sweet. And here we go. We're gonna do this. Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't want to forget to deploy the solar panels and what we were just showing you in this one here. There was one probe that I launched and I forgot to put solar panels on it. Put batteries on it, but I forgot solar panels. And so the batteries died after not very long. But I've been learning slowly how to operate these ships and these missions, and you gotta stay connected. That's what the antennas are for. You gotta keep power going. You gotta keep the power charged. And right now I'm just turning all the lights on just for aesthetics, just to get some cool videos of the almost final stage. We still have that booster on the back to slow down our orbit and get captured, but we're almost there. We're getting everything set up. I think I forgot that one. Yeah. It's out now, though. A lot of the science stuff, I still am not sure what it does. And I still have a lot of practice to do with the docking. Docking is very difficult. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Everything fully deployed. Go to the next stage between the Earth and the Moon. The Mun. Looking really good. That's a beautiful shot. Sorry, I guess this video is going to be a little bit longer than I originally expected. Yeah, that is a really, really good, really cool shot. I'm surprised how well this game is. How good this game. I don't know how I became so addicted to building the rockets and launching them, but mainly blowing them all up. It's pretty difficult to figure out how to play this game. For me anyway, it was pretty difficult. Looks like another correction. I don't remember what happened to make us have to do this correction. Maybe I didn't oh yeah, changing the stages. I changed the stages and that affected our path. But that's not an issue. We'll just go ahead and make one more correction, and that'll be the one that gets us captured by the moon's gravity and stabilize the orbit. Just like that. Look at that. Beautiful. Looking good. They're going to fast forward time. Look at all of our orbiting Earth, and we have our two other crafts orbiting the sun right now. We got that one, two, what do you call them? Polar orbits, one around the moon and one around Kerbal. But as you can see, we just now get captured, well, and have encountered the lunar gravity, the sphere of something. I forget what it's called. But there's some kind of scientific name for the zone where the gravity of the planetary body starts affecting you. Cool. Very cool. Oh, we're starting to do the engine burn. We're at half throttle now. When I was playing, I was like, oh man, I gotta just eyeball all this. It's all glitched out. There's no burn time. There's no delta V. The fuel looks like it's probably good because I definitely wanted to overpack on the fuel, and I had to make enough to get to the Duna, the planet Duna, and so getting to the moon was relatively simple, but you know, just as much planning and just as much adjusting and jumping through hoops. Yeah, this was a longer burn. It's like I said earlier, those engines, they're pretty small. But look at the fuel levels on them. They do pretty good. And it also offers a lot more control when doing these types of maneuvers where you need to be, you know, nice and easy and not be rocket blasting and way overshooting. That's what I was doing a lot before. I didn't really use any of the smaller engines. I was like, all right, let's slap these huge ones on and see what we can do. Can't do anything like that other than blow up. I think we got it. I might do one more adjustment, but to get a more circular orbit, but that might be it too. I might just call it there and detach. Because we are in a perfectly stable orbit right now. Hmm. Yeah, it looks like I'm getting ready to do one more burn. Maybe. I don't know. It's a possibility. Just because everything's all glitched out. Man, I thought that was done. Sorry about that. We're just gonna get through it. That's right. You gotta deal with it. Into the dark of the moon, watching the Earth come around. That's very cool. Look at that beautiful, full-on space station. Laboratory. That was really exciting. That's I feel accomplished now. Got me some full-on space stations orbiting some planetary bodies out there. Just waiting. They're just waiting for some Kerbals. Some Kerbals got to learn how to dock. I might record some of that. My attempts at docking. They're not really very eventful, but I mean, I can show you how difficult it is, or how bad I just suck at it. Yeah, that looks good. That looks real good. We are at 49 minutes. I might as well at this point just gut it out the rest 10 more minutes and see if we can find some more interesting clips here. Oh, this is a tracking station. We're looking at all of the crafts that we have out in space right now. We have one Duna station's at orbiting the sun. I don't remember why that one's orbiting. I don't remember why that one's orbiting the sun. One's orbiting Duna, and the other's orbiting the Mun. That's the one we just watched. We just watched the one go and orbit the Mun. I haven't been attempting any landings. I don't know if I mentioned that. I have just been wanting to get some stuff out there and practice launching and orbiting, but also not delete anything. I'm gonna keep this going and see how much stuff ends up in space. Like this is just after like doing it for a day, maybe, maybe just like 3 or 4 hours. Man, I can't imagine if I didn't delete or just start new games every time, how much stuff there'd be. It'll probably just get so cluttered eventually and just break and crash. But very cool. Look at all that. It's all connected. We're looking at my polar satellite, my satellite in polar orbit around Kerbal, and it gives us a good top-down view of all the all the different connections that we got now. Because I put connection devices on all of them. Oh, there's one. It's the observatory. Oh man, the observatory. We've got our second enormous fairing, I think is what they're called. The enormous fairing. I think I was just gonna take this one to orbit around the Earth, but I ended up having so much fuel and boost that I think I ended up orbiting the moon again and just putting it out there. The SAS was doing this weird little like dance thing on the way to the moon. I definitely wanted to get that recorded. Like, look at it go. It's like to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. Look at this. It did not want to go. It didn't want to stay still. It just wanted to keep wiggling around. Oh, there's the mun. We take a look at it, and I was like, you know what? We might as well take this there too. I was just gonna put it in orbit around Earth, but we're gonna take this space station. What did I call this one? The observatory, the observatory station. Hopefully, well, I guess it doesn't matter, but I'm hoping this one doesn't make us go over an hour. And I guess it doesn't matter at this point. At this point, it's just a long video. I missed recording the fairing deploying, I guess. But this is the observatory. Looks like the engines haven't really fired up yet. Because all the fuel is still way up there. I don't even think we need to use any fuel. This one can probably make it to Duna as well. But it's the observatory because it has the infrared telescope, which I didn't know was supposedly in the description on the game says it's just for viewing the sun, but I don't even think you can view anything with it. I just, it's all for fun. I wanted to simulate the James Webb telescope at some point. It might be a little simpler than delivering these full-on space stations, but also at the same time, you never know what what hiccups you're gonna run into. And I just found those new parts, those new gold fuel tanks. So I stacked a whole bunch up. I was like, oh, that's really cool. The smaller pieces. Because I can protect everything with a fairing now that I learned how to do the fairings. But yeah, look at this observatory. That's so cool. And now we released our final stage. And now we're captured by the Mun, similar to the James Webb Telescope. Now have the observatory. Very cool. But yeah, I think doing this mission is what gave me the idea to maybe I should just put a telescope probe out there and simulate the rockets needed to get it there in a very similar orbit, or maybe the same orbit as the James Webb Telescope. Cool, yeah, just another great picture of the final stage drifting away and our new observatory space station orbiting the Mun. And this is a shot with just having the Earth in the background instead of the Mun. The booster stage drifting away. The observatory ready to get to work. Not quite as big as the Duna space station, but it doesn't have a lab. It's just an observatory that can fit, I believe, 4 Kerbals. Also with 2 docking ports. And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We are right at 58 minutes and 55 seconds. Sorry about the length, but also you're welcome for the length, and you're welcome for taking you to outer space. Well, at least the Kerbal Space Station's version of outer space, which is Planet Kerbal for Earth, the Mun for the Moon, and we've now been to Planet Duna for Mars. Don't forget to, like the video and subscribe to the channel.